Fertility Village. This is your weekly live talk show where community and support come together. With rotating hosts, expert guests, and meaningful conversations, we're here to guide you through the highs and the lows of infertility. Whether you're searching for answers, seeking advice, or just looking for a special place to belong, Fertility Village is your space to connect, learn, and grow. Because it really does take a village, and we are here for you every step of the way. Thanks for joining. Yes, thanks for joining. Hey, everybody. Erin here. And all of our hosts. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
We're live.
Hi.
For the first time, it's Fertility Village Live Talk Show. And we are so excited to be here tonight. Our very first episode. I couldn't be more excited to kick off this journey with all of these faces on the screen and then all of you out there who are tuning in tonight or watching later. This is the space where we are going to come together. We're going to talk about fertility. We're going to talk about family building and everything in between. But I am not doing this alone. Obviously, there's a lot of people on this screen. We're going to hear from everybody tonight. I'm joined by this incredible group of co-hosts who all bring their unique stories and perspectives to this talk show. So let's meet them all. Let's get to know everybody tonight. I'm going to start with Marissa. Marissa, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself? Hey, Marissa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Erin, for that lovely, lovely introduction. I'm Marissa, and I'm so excited to be a part of this amazing team, to be a part of Oasis, to be a part of Fertility Village Live. It's just so nice to have something for everyone who is going through a journey like this, where we can have access to support all the time. I'm an intended mom who's actually navigated surrogacy for the last few years. I started on a fertility journey. I thought I was going to carry myself, and it ended up happening that I needed a surrogate due to a history with cervical cancer. So I was able to welcome a son in 2023 through surrogacy, and now I'm on my third surrogacy journey, hopefully, which will bring me a sibling. And through that journey, I saw that there was a lack in the surrogacy field industry for support from intended parents for intended parents, and so I founded my company, Defining Journeys, that helps intended parents throughout their surrogacy journey from the beginning to the end, from A to Z in every aspect. And I'm just really grateful that I can kind of give back to the community that gave me so much, and in every way, in very many different ways. So yeah, that's a little bit about my story. Erin, I have a question for you. Since you asked me a question, I'm going to throw it back. What inspired Oasis to start Fertility Village? Because we're already doing so much, right? Like, we have the support groups, all the fun stuff that's coming up, but what inspired Fertility Village?
Thanks for asking, Marissa. If you are watching this later, it sounds like we might be having some technical difficulties on our Instagram and Facebook feeds, but YouTube is currently live. So Marissa, I'm going to say, why don't you jump on your phone for a quick sec and post on Facebook and Instagram to go to YouTube if you want to watch live, if something isn't working, and we will work on those technical difficulties in the background. I can see my feed looks like everything's going good, so we'll just keep cracking along here and see how we end up. But thanks for asking that question. Honestly, Oasis, really, we are all about building community for folks who are experiencing infertility. We want you to find other people in community who are going through it too, and we want you to get educated. We want you to learn about the journey so that you can advocate for yourself and for your treatment and for your body and for all of those things that are so important in this process. And we have our support groups, which are really the sort of the tip of the spear at Oasis. That's where we find our community in person. And we have our other podcast, which is Telling Fertility Stories. But where I really felt like there was a gap was on the sort of week to week connecting with our people, connecting with our community, and just having an opportunity to talk about, things that are happening in the fertility industry, getting experts in here to educate us, to give us some insight into, new and upcoming treatments or alternative therapies that can support your fertility journey, or just hearing other people's perspectives on fertility. And so that is what this live is for. It's so that we can kind of fill in this middle gap that we have, where we really want to just bring education and bring advocacy and bring, just a third thing that is giving you an opportunity to connect with Oasis once a week. And so that is why we're here. So I think we'll move on. And I could tell a little bit about my story too. I'm one of the co-founders of Oasis, and my journey was really long, 10-year fertility journey. I have a donor-conceived son at this point, and I'm one and done. It was a long journey. We had one perfect embryo, and I didn't want to go through any more treatment, and I'm happy and moved on, and just very, very, very grateful. And thinking of all of you out there all the time that are still in the journey, that are still in the thick of it. I know it's so, so, so difficult. Our programs at Oasis will always be free for anybody who wants to join in to a support group, anybody who wants to join our lives. We're never going to charge for these things. We just don't ever want cost to be a barrier to anything that we do. That's why we founded the organization as a charity. So yeah, let's move on. I'm really excited about this show. Let's hear how about we hear from Joy next? Joy, welcome to Fertility Village. So glad you're hosting for us.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be part of this conversation. I bring an interesting perspective to the table. I essentially made the decision to become a single mother by choice in 2020. I'm 5 years into my journey of still trying to start a family. So in addition to needing the obvious sperm donor, since I don't have a partner, I was diagnosed with diminished ovarian reserve at the age of 38, which kind of made me go in full force, and I've been going in full force since then. This journey has definitely tested me in ways I never could have imagined, but it also taught me incredible lessons in resilience and perseverance. What's kept me grounded throughout the 5 years so far is community. It's connecting with others that truly understand what being on this journey feels like. As someone doing this on my own, joining various support groups, keeping up to date on the latest research, and listening to podcasts has allowed me to advocate for myself. I truly believe that knowledge is power, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping others get the information they need to feel empowered on their own journeys. I'm on the board of directors at Oasis, so when this opportunity arose, I just had to be a part of it. Ashley, I know you have a pretty unique story. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Sure. Thanks so much, Joy. So my name's Ashley. I've gone through more embryo transfers than anyone I know. Even Erin has said more than anyone she's known. We actually do our treatments outside of Canada, so in the States. So that's been a roller coaster ride, just learning how to navigate both the Canadian and the American system. But I've learned a lot, and now I'm passionate about helping others navigate the process and offering the support and guidance that I wish that I had along the way. I also serve on the board of directors for Oasis, which allows me to be even more involved in the community. And I'm committed to spreading awareness and getting the information out there so people can advocate for themselves and help each other. And I think there's so much power in that itself. And I know Sarah has a pretty unique story as well. So do you want to share your story, Sarah?
Thanks so much, Ashley, and thanks everyone for sharing their stories so far. I am also on the board of directors with Oasis. I am an executive, the secretary, and I found Oasis long ago before it was Oasis, and they helped me on my 14-year journey. I did multiple retrievals, went down the long winding road of that, and last year we actually welcomed our son through private adoption. So like Erin, I was kind of done putting my body through the ringer. It was an emotional roller coaster that I just couldn't handle, and I just needed to take some of that control back. When the opportunity came up to be on the board of directors, I was thrilled because, again, they helped me so much through my journey, and I would not have been able to get through it without them. The people on that I met through the support groups were actually the ones who helped guide me towards private adoption, and were like mentors to me throughout the journey, and they helped me get on the right path, and it ended up being obviously a very positive one. I also am a conversation starter, so I like to lead our support groups online for infertility monthly, which again is a passion of mine, just because I've been there and I know how lonely it is when you are going through fertility treatment. I didn't find Oasis till like the 10-year mark on my journey, and I always said that I was just so out of hope. I needed other people to do it for me. So that is how I hope to contribute to the members of the support groups online, and hopefully be their hope on their journey and the light at the end of the tunnel to know, again, they're not alone and they can do hard things and they can get through it. So I am going to pass it over to Kaylee, who's one of the very first people I met through Oasis. Would you like to tell us about your role?
Yeah, and can I just say I'm just so honored to be here with you guys, and rehearing your stories is like warming my heart a lot. And just, you know, you guys have been there, a lot of you, for a lot of my journey. I started with Oasis pretty early on, and now I'm the director of communications, and I do a lot of the fun, creative stuff. But in terms of my fertility journey, I was unexplained, super fun, always unexplained for a long time, and doing every test I could think of, doing tons of research, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I went through 3 rounds of IVF. Things kept failing, and finally I advocated for myself to get a laparoscopy surgery, and found out I had pretty major endometriosis as well as a septate uterus, which meant my uterus was split in half, which was why things weren't working. And when that got resolved, everything fell into place for me, and I was lucky enough to welcome my son in the summer, which is crazy to say. Yeah. So yeah, and anyway, just so happy to be here, and excited for what's to come this season. Erin, do you want to talk about what we're gonna do this season?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, we're so excited. There's so many exciting things that we have for our audience week after week after week. And a lot of them, we're going to go through sort of the framework, so that if you're watching this for the first time, sort of as episode 1, you get an idea of who we are. We have other hosts that are going to be joining too. This is just where we're starting. But every week, there's going to be a different set of 2 people hosting the live. And we're going to introduce different themes every single week. So we're going to talk about, topics like fertility treatments, adoption, surrogacy, mental health. We're going to explore the emotional aspects of infertility, the psychological aspects of infertility. And because Fertility Village is a part of the Oasis Fertility Support Network, we're also going to highlight how viewers can connect through our growing online community. It's been a lifeline for so many of us and for so many people out there. And so we just want to have this extra piece where people can tune in and stay connected week to week between support groups and learn and feel supported. This is going to be the sort of heart of our expanded network. So as we grow, as Oasis grows, Fertility Village is actually going to become a hub of support where you can go and download free downloads. It's going to be a landing site off our webpage where you can access all of the live videos. They're also going to be living sort of on our YouTube page. It's going to have all kinds of free stuff that you can access through there. And all this education and signing up for support groups, all of the Oasis things. So we're so excited about that launch. It's going to be coming later this year. But Fertility Village Live is sort of the first little leap that we took with that sort of program. So we have some amazing guests lined up. If you haven't been on our Instagram page for Fertility Village, it's fertility__village at Instagram. And you can go over there, and we're posting on there and on our Oasis page who our guests coming up are. We have all kinds of people. We have medical practitioners, we have fertility experts, we have parents who've walked the diverse pathways to parenthood and to family building. Every month, we're going to dive into a different specific theme. So, for example, this month is January. So we're focusing on a new January. It's going to be around love and relationships, obviously, because Valentine's Day. And every month, we're going to encompass a new theme. And then each week, the hosts rotate, like I said, with the weekly theme. So this week is a little fun. This month's a little funny because we jumped in a few weeks late with our themes. They're going to be epic. Marissa, why don't you tell us about some of the monthly themes?
Absolutely, no problem. Okay, so for next week, we have, am I allowed to say who the hosts are?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Do it.
So next week, myself and Joy are the hosts, and we're going to have a very special guest, Dara Roth, who is a intended parent herself. She had both her children through intended parents and through surrogacy. She's an intended parent, but she's also a very, very well-regarded fertility therapist, and she works with clinics. She works with people who have gone through infertility and through surrogacy, and she's been in the trenches, right? She's had her own journey. So that would be next week. And then the week after, we have, so first week is called Mindful Moments. That's our sort of surrounding theme for every week, number one. And then the next week we have Wildcard Wednesdays, which is our fun one. Week 2 is Wildcard Wednesdays. And so who are the hosts for Wildcard Wednesdays? Do you want to wave? And how's it going? So you have Wildcard Wednesday. Who is?
Yes, Ashley and I are going to be hosting Wildcard Wednesday. Yep.
Yes. So, Erin, besides what we talked about for our little session, do you want to talk about a little bit more about Wildcard Wednesday and the other themes for the weeks?
Yeah. So Ashley and I are co-hosts for Wildcard Wednesdays. Ashley, why don't you tell everybody what they can expect?
Anything. We could feature guest panels.
Oh, sorry, got you unmuted. There we go.
There we go. Sorry. So Wildcard Wednesdays, it
You're
can
good.
literally be anything. So anything from guest panels, Q&A sessions, special guests, or community-led discussions. What's one topic that you're really excited to talk about, Erin?
Honestly, like I think we're bringing in for the first Wildcard Wednesday, we are bringing in Carolyn Dubé from Fertility Matters Canada, the guru for, all things fertility in Canada. She is going to share with us all about the advocacy movement that's coming in Canada at a government level. She's going to talk about funding across the country in every province, where the funding's at, what's happening. So excited for her to come and talk to us. Also, every week, feel free to shoot us questions, ask questions on the lives. We want to hear from our audience. We want to hear from all of you about what you want to hear from. Write us on Instagram. We'll post some opportunities to ask questions and to share some themes that maybe you want to hear about from us and from some guests. If you have an idea of somebody who would be a great guest, drop us a line. You can email us at info@oasisfsn.com. You can drop us a line, learn a little bit more about what you guys want to hear about too. Okay, I
just wanted to say that if you're following along on YouTube right now and you're watching us live, there is a little question box where you can drop questions. You could just type in the box, drop questions, and we will be answering questions later on during our episode. So go ahead and drop your questions in there.
I'm super excited for Wildcard.
Let's hear from, week 3. Yeah, go.
Yeah, I'm super excited for Wildcard Wednesdays. One of the things that I would really like to look at is exploring international treatments and the pros and cons. It's something that the avenue that we traveled. So I know a couple other people have also utilized international travel. So I think it'd be really exciting to bring that in and just bring a different perspective to that. So I'm really excited for that. And then kicking it off with Carolyn Dubé, I think that's going to be a great episode. And so I hope you guys all tune in. And so that's not next week she'll be on, that Marissa and Joy will be on next week. And then Erin and I will be on the following week.
I gotta just second the travel thing. I'm so excited to hear more about that.
Okay.
Oh, I think you're on a bit of a delay here.
Am I? Oh no. Okay, why don't we jump in with week 3 where Sarah and Kaylee, I'll throw it over to you. I'm gonna mute myself for a bit.
Yeah, so we're gonna be spotlighting awareness days. So if there's a month that has, like, for instance, what I'm interested in, Endometriosis Awareness Day, then we're going to be spotlighting research about endometriosis, maybe interviewing a doctor who has a lot of experience with that, for instance. Highlighting other fertility-focused opportunities for patients. So if there's a specific topic to shed light on, we're going to be right in there. What do you think, Sarah? What's one that you're really excited about?
Well, I'm definitely excited for our first one coming up in a few weeks. We're going to interview Kaylee's doctor. I'm so excited. Dr. Garcia. She has been such a great supporter of Oasis, and I can't wait to talk to her a little more in depth. I've only ever got to meet her in person. I'm not lucky enough to have her as my doctor. But I'm definitely for Awareness Month, Adoption Awareness Month. I know for me it was jumping in kind of blind. So to be able to raise awareness, that's in November, and try and help some people out who maybe are interested in adoption in that pathway. I absolutely cannot wait. How about you, Kaylee?
Yeah. Like I said, for me, endometriosis is such a big one, but I'm really excited for next week, or next time we come on, for when Dr. Garcia comes, because she is the person who allowed me to have my baby boy. And that's amazing. I recommend her to so many people. And she's been amazing to Oasis as well.
Yeah, and we have some great questions for her. So if anybody wants to add to that list, if they've listened to Dr. Garcia's podcast in Oasis, please send Oasis a message so we get those questions in for her, because there's always so many.
Yeah, and if you're interested in anything immune related, that's a great person to ask about too, because Markham Fertility is one of the only places around this area that specializes in immune protocols, which was one of my big things too.
Yes.
Yeah. What should we look forward to in week 4?
Weiss is joining us.
Oh yes, sorry. She's not my doctor, but she's also amazing, and I've heard her on her podcast. I haven't met her, but she's also incredible. So yeah, it's for both of them. But yeah, back to you, Erin. What are we looking for in week 4?
Okay, so sorry if there's a bit of a delay. I don't know what's going on, but yay, technical difficulties. So week 4 is always going to be about expert advice. So for now, we are actually introducing a new host. I hope she's watching. If Megan's out there, drop us some hearts in the comments section, Megan. Megan's coming on our live. She's joining us as a host as well at the end of this month, I think, or potentially starting in February. But it'll either be Marissa or I or Megan. And expert advice is our theme for every 4th week of the month. Marissa, who do we have coming on for this month? Oh, we don't have anybody because there's no 4th there's no 4th week because we started with this one. So we have like a little bit of I told you, I said at the beginning, this is going to be a little bit.
I was thinking, is this a trick question? Is she trying to, are we following script here? What's going on? I don't know.
I've lost my mind. Okay, it's been a long day. That's okay. So there's
we will have expert advice at some point.
We are this is the 4th week. This is it.
It's happening.
Okay, so then you got to dive in February, and we are going to keep it a secret for now, but that's why you got to go over and follow Fertility __ Village, follow Oasis FSN on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be announcing every couple weeks who the next guests are that are coming up. So very exciting. I can promise you they're going to be great. We've got I'm not going to say who it is. You could probably figure it out. It's a little hint, but we've got a sex therapist coming on in February talking about love, sex, and relationships. It's going to be steamy. I hope she's watching. Yeah, it's just going to be great. I'm so excited. Speaking of technical difficulties, one of the things we ran into tonight, so we're learning as we go, friends. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're joining us on YouTube, because for some reason we don't have a stream on Instagram or Facebook at the moment, not sure why. We'll iron out the kinks. But we also discovered we need 1,000 followers on TikTok in order to go live. So if y'all are watching this now or later, go over to our TikTok. It's Oasis FSN, and please follow us. Same with on LinkedIn. We can go live on LinkedIn. We need 40 more followers on LinkedIn in order to be able to go live on LinkedIn. So we want this live every week to go to as many social channels as possible. So we need your help. So go over there to LinkedIn and like our Oasis FSN page, and go over to our, and then we'll be going live on the Fertility Village page as well on Instagram. We just needed a couple more days of the account being open before we were allowed to go live. So it'll be coming up in the next week. We're just going to roll out a couple, every month and see how we go. And eventually we'll just be everywhere. Yeah. Okay, so I'm excited about, there's so many things I'm excited about for this program. I think that there is a huge piece of fertility treatment where we should be talking to like holistic practitioners about alternative approaches to care. Does anybody else want to jump in? Sounds like there's something for everybody on here. Who else wants to talk about what we're excited about for this session, this season, this year?
I'm excited to learn about different stories.
Not all at once.
Can you hear me, Erin?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Erin's on a delay. She gets
yes.
everything a little bit later, so we start talking, and then he's still talking. And it's like, were we supposed to talk, or were we not supposed to talk? But yeah, it's all good, Erin. Just mute yourself. It's all good.
I'm super excited. We're still in the fertility world. We'll do one last embryo transfer, so I'm excited to hear from other people what worked for them, different advances in technologies. What's out there. We've done some immune treatments. We've done different testing. And I think it's really about like advocating for yourself. But the fertility world is so broad, and there's so many different avenues and treatments that you can go down. And there's so much that's still so unexplored. And I think it's so nice to be able to hear from other people who are in similar situations. We all still have our unique journeys, but it's nice to hear from people who are in similar situations and what worked, and then potentially advocating for yourself, or at least asking those questions to your doctor. So I'm excited to hear from everyone's stories. And I myself have a unique story. We've done egg retrievals, and we get 0 mature eggs, and they can't figure out why. And that's why we ended up in the States using an egg donor. But yeah, so I'm excited to hear what worked from other people and hearing just unique stories and yeah, banding as a community.
And you always know that we'll get some kind of unique story. Like, you always know it's going to give whatever we find is going to give. Everybody has a story. Everybody has an embarrassing story. Everybody has something cool that I've never heard of. Like, I think I learned on one of the support groups that we were having about an auto injector. If I knew about that.
There's an auto injector?
There's an auto
no one have told us.
That was my support group. There's an auto injector you can buy for progesterone and oil and for all your shots. It's like,
you just
designed for you. It just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I know. I learned something new. Every month I learn something new. I love support group.
Yeah, and like so many other things that we learn, but like that would be so great because there's so many people that have to do their injections on their own, and how are we to know this unless somebody's like a Google machine, right? Like, we don't know. So
maybe you can teach them about the numbing cream.
That's right. Numbing cream. for shots. I think I've taken like 300 shots this cycle. I'm about to be retrieved tomorrow. I'm going for a retrieval tomorrow. And I just numb. I put circles with an eyeliner and I put numbing cream and then I just stab it. So Emla numbing cream, you could go to your pharmacy, get it over the counter, and it's great. And I love it and I can't do it without it. So there's a little tip for tonight. Tips. You get tips here too. Tips, advice, experts, stories, support. What else do you guys want? I don't know.
Can I put everyone on the spot? What's the weirdest spot that you did an injection? Like, where were you? What's the weirdest place you went?
Okay,
I'll do mine first.
Okay, you go first then. I'm gonna go second.
I went to see the Taylor Swift movie, which was 3 hours long, and my husband drove my progesterone and oil to the movie theater, and I did it in the bathroom and went back into the movie.
Yes.
And it was great because I missed my least favorite album, so we're good.
We did our when I transferred my embryo that resulted in my son, I cried the whole way home. He was our only embryo that had made it, and I did not think it worked. And we were going camping afterwards, and I remember we were like camping, and I was in a tent and trying to like keep this everything in coolers to keep like medications cool and that kind of stuff. But then we went to a wedding when we got back, so I remember just like taking it everywhere. So I'm sure there's other places because I've done quite a few embryo transfers, but that's off the top of my head.
So my funniest shot story was actually I had to go to the airport to pick up my mom. So I decided to do my shot in my car. I have the door open. I'm injecting myself. And this woman just comes out of nowhere. And she's like, "Excuse me, do you know how to get to the terminal?" And could you ask at a more inappropriate time? And I'm like, oh my God, this looks so bad. I look like I either have diabetes or I'm on drugs. I didn't really know what this lady was thinking, but I think that was my most interesting spot and interesting interaction.
I'll just say in very few words, convenience store bathroom during COVID.
Painful.
I didn't have any weird places I did one, but one time I forgot my medication at my friend's cottage. And thank God one of my warrior girlfriends who lives up the street that is in support group with me was doing the same shots at the same time. And so I walked down there and I was like, "Can I borrow some Lupron, please?" And we did she did my shot for me. And I was like, "I'll give you $20. I was like, we're really doing a real drug deal. That was me. And it was just the weirdest thing, but so funny. And I was so grateful for her because I was like, what would I do? Fertility clinics are closed. I left it in the fridge because it has to go in the refrigerator. And I was so grateful for my people in this community because it was a wild moment. Yeah. We have somebody sharing with us, bathroom at the dentist office. It's public to the building, and 2 people walked in on her. Oh my God.
No. Oof.
That is wild. Is there still a delay with me?
Less. It's getting better.
Yeah. I think one of the other
okay, good.
The other episodes we talked about doing is like most embarrassing moments. So I'm excited for when we get to that and sharing that with everyone. Says I know.
Yes.
I think there's everyone who's had a transfer or had a retrieval or done any part of fertility has had some funny story of whether it's getting the sperm to the clinic or whether you're transferring on the table and your bladder's full, or doing your husband going for his sperm sample. That one's
we got to have a whole episode about the room.
The room.
A whole panel of men like just coming through telling us the stories about what happened. I think that would be good. Maybe in February.
And don't forget, like, you'll know our stories because we're here, but like nobody will really know once you're commenting. So don't be shy. Share it with us. You'll get to hear ours. You know what we're saying, but we won't know who you are. So it's all good.
There's this new thing going around about how we listen and we don't judge. And I think that should be the whole title of the episode about the embarrassing stories. Like, we listen and we don't judge.
We don't
Just
judge.
fire away. Give us all the good stuff. We would love to hear
that goes back to support group, right? That's what we do in support group. We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah.
And there has to be a safe place to share all this stuff. And there has to be a place where we can actually laugh about this, because this is the hardest shit you're ever going to go through. And there has to be a place where we can just like unload a little bit and laugh and like shake it off and cry and laugh at the same time sometimes. And I hope that this becomes a place where you join us and you can do that, because I really feel like with having the guests that we're going to have on, and back to that, we want to have some panels on. I want to have a bunch of different like panels so that we get a unique perspective from multiple people in one episode. We're not just always interviewing one person, but multiple people's stories or couples. So yeah, I'm excited to do some of those panel shows. We're going to have a fertility hypnotist on at some point this year, which is going to be amazing.
What is that?
What's that? Yeah, what is that? I know exactly. You'll have to wait and find out.
If you're listening, I could have used you during the cycle. Where were you? Good to know. It would be very interesting for people to know. Maybe it helps during cycles for sure.
Yeah, totally. Any questions from the audience? Is there? Oh, wait a second. I forgot about something super, super important that none of y'all can see if you're watching, but we can all see her. Our very, very special friend, Tanya, who is our producer. Woo! Hey, Tanya. Everybody give a huge round of applause. So Tanya's there. She's in the background. We can all see her on our screen, but she doesn't come live. But she's there monitoring the comments, telling us to smile, telling us to nod and look excited. We're all learning this, guys. This is all the first time we've ever done like a talk show or a live. So you're going to bear with us. We're going to grow with you. But Tanya, thank you so much. She's going to show up for us every week as much as she can and run the back end. So if you hear us talking about Tanya, she is there. I swear to God, she's there. She's helping us out in the background and she's showing up, and we're so excited to have her here with us. So thank you, Tanya. Woo! You're the best. Amazing.
Behind every successful talk show, there is a producer off the screen who does all the amazing work. So
yes.
That's Tanya. Yes.
I don't know if you guys saw,
There
we
she
have a
said.
question in the comments here. And it says, I'm very much interested in switching fertility clinics, currently waiting for a new consult. Would that guarantee me to hold current spot at new fertility clinic for IVF funding waitlist? Thanks so much. My understanding is that it's a different waitlist per clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my understanding. So you would, if I was in that shoes, I would still go for a consult maybe at a new clinic and see, and then like wait and get on their wait list, because clinics sometimes have different wait lists. And then I would keep my name on my original wait list clinic and see what comes up first. There's always the opportunity. You can always transfer your embryos to another clinic down the road if it's really something you don't like. But that would be my suggestion. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, once you have a spot.
So go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, once you have a spot, you hold on to that spot for dear life, but you can get other consults in other places. And once you do, you can put yourself on that list as well. You don't only have to have yourself on one wait list, but you do have to have one clinic. You have to go ahead with one clinic. Nothing wrong with the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth opinion.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, Sarah and I were kind of like the queens of consults. I think I had 5 or 6 maybe. I feel like it's just so important to advocate for yourself and talk to different doctors and ask them questions, because you're paying them to help you get what you need, right? So,
and I second, third, fourth that, because I think I had 12 consults. And even though for me, IVF wasn't successful, when I found the doctor I jived with, she was phenomenal. I still preached to her because she was so amazing. Even though I wasn't successful, having a doctor you can at least trust your care into, it makes all the difference. So if you have to wait a little longer, it might be worth it to feel seen and heard and cared for by your doctor.
Yeah.
And that's just it, Sarah, right? Like a lot of people think that you're stuck with whoever you're with, or your doctor is your doctor, even if you don't vibe with them. Absolutely not. Let me tell you, there are so many fertility doctors, so many, and you can get a consultation. They're free with any of them. And if you don't like it, there is no shame in going to the next one and going to the next one and going to the next one, because everybody will have a different style, a different perspective, a different protocol, a different routine, a different test that they want to do. And like you guys said, it is so important to advocate for yourself, because they're busy. They have a million patients. Nobody is going to do it for you if you don't do it for yourself. So you push for your health and your fertility journey.
For sure. And I just see that someone else has commented. Anna says that every clinic has their own wait list, correct? And that there is a new funding envelope as per Ontario's recent budget. So perhaps that will move the wait list quicker. And we're excited to talk about that with Carolyn Dubé. I think she's going to touch on some of that with us in not next week, the following week.
Yes. Oh, you answered that, Kaylee.
Wait, where is it?
There's a question. It says, is there a week you're going to discuss endo?
Yes. During Endometriosis Awareness Month, we'll definitely be discussing endometriosis and all things endo. Yes. We'll have different topics each week, but all in the umbrella of endometriosis, which I'm so excited for, because in my opinion, it's one of those things that's so prevalent and so under-researched. And I think we're going to see like a massive boom in research and interest with surgeons getting more specialized into it. I know my surgeon was on the younger side and sort of in the cutting edge of like, you know, he was really like a feminist too, and like really understood me, and like, you know, he had a different way of going at it. And I just think we're going to see more and more of that. And yeah, so I'm excited for Endometriosis Awareness Month to talk
about. Get him on, Kaylee.
I hope we can. Yeah,
yeah.
And with endometriosis too, I know even just trying to get like for unexplained, that's one of the main reasons is endometriosis, and to get if you have unexplained, and to get a laparoscopic surgery is really hard, and the wait lists are really long. We actually went to the States and had ours done and just paid for it out of pocket, because the wait lists in Canada or in Ontario was very long. And so I mean, there's different options out there, and we'll probably touch on that maybe when you guys talk about endometriosis and the wait lists and the.
I will say though, if you're going through fertility treatment, apparently it's quite a lot faster, that wait list. It's still long, but faster than if you were not going through fertility treatment, I believe.
Yeah.
There's one upside.
Yeah.
I will say Endometriosis Awareness Month is March. So those conversations are coming soon. Like, they're not that far away. So watch the Instagram, watch our socials for those announcements. Let me give you some of the other monthly themes that we have. April is going to be stress and fertility awareness. So how stress impacts fertility. We all know, like, it's like the chicken and the egg, which came first, the infertility or the stress, because they just go hand in hand, and it's kind of stupid, but we all know that it impacts it. We want to talk about empowerment and advocacy in May. We want to talk about men's health and male infertility in June. We're going to talk about self-care and body positivity in July. Holistic fertility care in August. PCOS awareness in September. We're going to talk about pregnancy and infant loss and honoring that and those souls in October. Adoption and family building in all the different ways in November. That's going to include surrogacy. And then reflection and gratitude.
Oh, Erin's delayed again.
December to wrap it all up. It's going to be amazing. Anybody?
We do have a question
dang
here.
It.
Sorry, Erin. It says, are we able to suggest topics that we would like to see covered on Fertility Village Live?
We would love that. Yeah.
So there's a chat box that you can suggest. You can put it in, and Tanya's in the background, and she can take those down for us, and we'll see those as well. Also on our Instagram page, you can comment if there's anything that you want to see. Send us a message if you want to maybe send it privately. That we're fine to check our DMs and look at those. Erin, do you want to tell them what our Instagram is to send everything to?
Yeah, it's Oasis FSN or Fertility __ Village on Instagram. Everything else, everywhere you go, is Oasis FSN. That'd be TikTok, that'd be YouTube channel, that would be our Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group for if you want to just like chat with other people, kind of get to know some of the other people commenting, that kind of thing. Yeah, go over to our Facebook group. You can find it. It's just off of our Facebook page. Maybe Tiffany can drop a link to the Facebook group in the chat box on YouTube today. That'd be awesome. I know
or you can always join a support group.
Tiffany's going to be helping out a little bit.
Join a support group.
Yeah.
Come tell us what you want to talk about.
Yes, they're free for everyone. This show, Oasis Fertility Support Network, everything we do is for you guys, for the people, for everybody in this community, for us. So if you have burning questions, if you have things that you want to talk about, because let's face it, people don't always have time to talk. Doctors don't always have time to answer your questions. Nurses don't, practitioners, experts. And so this is the time to get your questions answered, to get what you want out of your fertility journey. And this is what we're hoping to facilitate for everyone, for ourselves. So get those questions in. There are no questions that are too much or, just common sense. There's no common sense in fertility, as we know, because everything you think is going to be one way ends up being another. So whatever you have, whatever you're thinking about, even if it's just a thought, please share it with us. There's so many ways. Share it with any of us. And we're happy to be at your service.
I see a couple coming in already. So speaking about patient experience at large would be interesting, as that's a piece that's often overlooked. And I think you'll probably hear that piece through a lot of our journeys if we continue to you continue to listen, as well as the guests that we hear on our show. So I think that's something that we can definitely touch on a little bit. And definitely, I will say that I know Tiffany's the crier on the podcast, but at least she doesn't have to show her face. But I will probably be the crier on here, and I'll have to show my face. So I apologize for everyone in advance that I will be your crier on here.
But we love Tiff.
Sarah,
love you, Tiff.
Sarah's gonna give you. Yes, Tiff's going to be helping Tanya on the producing side. She's going to jump on every once in a while too and help. If you don't know Tiffany, she's co-founder of Oasis, and she is also the co-host of the Oasis Fertility Podcast. And I just want to speak to that comment quickly about the patient experience at large, because on our podcast, we literally just tell people's stories and we talk so much about the patient experience. So if you're looking to connect with other people who have been through it, that is where you should go. Oasis Fertility Podcast, everywhere you got your podcasts, on Spotify. We'll also be putting these episodes on their own podcast channel. So you can be watching for those through our everything done by Oasis Fertility Support Network. So yeah, go check out the podcast. There's so many episodes. And just amazing stories. Actually, Sarah's story's on there. Marissa's story's on there. Kaylee's story's going to be on there
in April this year.
Yes. Dr. Garcia's story on there. Yeah. So many good stories. So yeah, definitely go check out the podcast if you haven't already done that.
That says, will there be a question and answer session with any experts? So for sure. So we're going to bring specialists on. So sex therapists, doctors, naturopaths. I think we're going to have, we haven't found everyone that we're going to bring on, but we are going to get lots of guests, and there will be opportunities for people to comment and ask questions. And if you guys know that somebody's coming on, if you guys follow our account, you guys can ask questions ahead of time. So just follow Oasis and Fertility Village.
And if you have someone you want to see on, let us know and we'll try to get them.
Yeah, and we are coming close to the end of our talk show, but I was gonna just say, because we're talking about a lot about Oasis, about Fertility Village, can we just talk a little bit more about Oasis and what makes Oasis special for anybody who's watching and doesn't know, or for anybody who is wondering what it's about and wants to spread the word and share it with other people because they might know somebody who's in need. Anybody want to maybe share a little bit about it? I think Erin has gone on vacation. Hi, Erin.
I can share about it.
Oh no, Sarah got we lost Sarah.
So Oasis started as a support group, and it grew, and now there are support groups in so many places around Ontario. I can't name them all, but I know there's like Aurelia, Chatham, help me out here, Newmarket, Toronto, Hamilton. There's tons, and we also have online groups, and it's not just for infertility. We have online groups for single moms by choice, for people who are going through surrogacy, for all sorts of different things, people who have gotten pregnant through infertility and the challenge of that and how difficult that is. So it's just
secondary infertility.
Yep, exactly. So we want to reach all these groups that are really struggling, and you know, it's so hard to find community when you're going through this. It's so isolating to find people who get it. As much as our families and friends are well-meaning, sometimes we don't have people to talk to who are like, yeah, I'm there with you, I get it. When we all found the Oasis groups, it changed our lives in such great ways, and we learned so much and made the best connections.
Yeah.
So come to a group.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, we've got somebody saying Foundation group. Yeah, we've got a special group for Fertility Foundation grant recipients. So if you've received a grant from Fertility Friends Foundation, we'll do a little plug for their group. It is run by our friend Tammy. I think she's watching. Hi, Tammy. And they are. Yeah. Oh, Tiffany put the post of where our groups are located in person. We have a new group starting in Hamilton this month, and we've got Ottawa. We're all the way over to Ottawa this year. If you're watching from not Ontario, just wait, because it is coming. We are coming for you West Coast soon as we can get out there, and East Coast eventually, but we got to go one direction first, and then the other. But we cannot wait to be all across Canada. Our dream for Oasis is to have a support group in every major city across this entire
And something I didn't say is that these groups are peer-led, so it's all people like us who have been through it who are leading the group. And they're cost-free, so you never have to pay for it. Those two things are important.
That's right. Yes, they're not led by mental health practitioners. They are led by people who have just lived through it and survived it, and are there to just support you and just talk to you and just let you talk. You can find somebody. And our support groups meet in all kinds of places.
Oh, we're losing Erin again.
You're frozen, Erin.
We're not like, it's not in a stark environment in most here. Sarah's, no!
You're in and out.
I hope it was an ugly face.
It was just your hands, like.
Dear, oh dear. Okay, somebody else take it away.
I think what she was saying was that these support groups take place in all sorts of different spots. We've got, I think there's one in a school, there's a yoga studio, there's a flower shop, but it's always somewhere sort of nice and comfy and inviting, and yeah, it's good.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Awesome.
Oh, we lost Sarah.
Any last words before I try and wrap it up?
No, like it just sounds amazing, and I'm excited to see where Fertility Village goes. And Erin, like, where do you see this going?
Erin sees this going to bed, I think. Because
she sees herself going away.
Well,
I think I will maybe fill in. She just, I think the vision for everyone.
I should have.
She's there.
She's back.
Is that a ghost, Erin? She's not back.
Oh no, she's not.
Okay.
I've been here the whole time.
Okay, well.
Oh, Erin.
I think we can wrap it up for Erin.
Yes. So the dream for Fertility Village is to become a go-to resource for anyone navigating the complex world of fertility and family building. So basically expanding into live events, workshops, retreats where people can connect in person. And most importantly, for this to be a lasting community that connects everyone and continues to evolve with the needs of the viewers, which we know when you're going through journeys like this and when you're in the trenches, having stuff like this is so important. Having community is so important. Even if you're not engaging, just listening to people that know what you're going through and seeing their stories just helps relate, right? It helps you know that you're not alone out there. So this is just the beginning. We're so happy to have you guys along for the ride. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media. So Oasis FSN for the Oasis Instagram group, that fertility__village for the Fertility Village live group, where we post all of our episodes and all the information for our episodes. Don't forget to send us the topics or questions that you'd like to cover for these live shows. Tune in next week for myself and Joy. Joy, we got this. Yes, where we have Dara Roth. It's going to be so good. And remember, no matter where you are in your journey, you are never alone. We are here for you. So until next time, welcome to the village, everybody. See you next week.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Hey guys.